In this video, I want to talk about quality. You're generally looking at the final assembly process. Since all RVs basically use the same products, the frames are made by a couple of different manufacturers, all of the appliances, the cabinetry and whatnot is prefabricated, then it comes down to the assembly. What is the quality of the assembly of the unit itself? And this applies to both new and used, things that you want to look for. And I call them the 8 red flags of quality. I'm going to go over that in this video. We're going to take a look at the outside and go walk around, and I want to show you what those things are. Your first stop on the outside for red flag number 1 is the slide. Look at the distance on the top and the bottom. Is it even? Is the slide square with the side of the RV? The next stop for red flag number 2 is the awning. Look at the length of it. If it's got a bow in it, that's an expensive item to fix. As you move around checking for damages and other things, if you have a second awning, be sure and check it too. Moving along, we're going to be looking for delaminations, bulges, ripples, or pushed out spots on the sidewall. This is red flag number 3. Get up really close and look down the sidewall. If you see delaminations on a new unit, that's a manufacturing defect. Delaminations on a used unit are usually caused by moisture intrusion, a leak. These repairs can be cost prohibitive. The next stop is to look at the overall lines of the RV for red flag number 4. Do the slides, the doors, the roof, does everything line up? Does it look square? If not, this RV could have internal structural issues, expensive issues. You've been outside and you've eyeballed a potential slide problem. Now we're inside and I'm going to show you what to look for. When the slide is all the way out, run your fingers along the slide edge and you should expect to find that it's even all the way across the top, the sides, the bottom. Look at the bottom and see if it's lined up with the floor. If it's not, it could be something as minor as it wasn't slid out all the way, which you can check, or it could be something very major, structural problems or mechanical problems underneath. Either way, that's a high dollar item. That's a red flag. Finishing up with the slides, look along the floor where the slide moves in and out. If you see any scratched or damaged areas on the floor, that's an indication of a mechanical or a structural problem. The next quality item to look at on the list of red flags is the overall assembly of the unit. Now, a lot of the seams in the ceilings are covered by trim work, but as you look around, you can see areas, if it's not been seamed up properly, even the trim is not going to hide it. If you see some gaps in there, gaps in the trim sagging and whatnot, and remembering, this RV is like a job interview. It's going to be at its best, and if it's at its best when you're seeing it, and you see any of these red flags, it's time to move on. Next thing to look at is the cabinetry. Is the cabinetry doors square? Do they open and close evenly? And look at the latches. Operate the doors. Do they close smoothly? Do they close flat? Are they magnetic latches? Are they good quality latches? You can tell that because the cheaper latches have a little pointed arrow plastic knob that goes into 2 little rollers. Those are kind of the cheaper kind and they tend to break. Look for a quality kind like these. Another item on the list of fit out and assembly is the plumbing. Take a look under the sink. Reach in gently, grab a hold of the drain, and just tug on it. If it feels loose or if any of the fittings are loose to touch, that's a red flag because they're going to leak. Here's another quick test for you. You can check your door or doors and see if they open or close properly. If they stick or jam or they're difficult to open or close, it could be something very simple like an adjustment to the trim, or it could be something very serious. It could be some frame distortion. That's big dollars to fix.